From a practical aspect, Major Muoki will explain how we keep coordinating with the Rescue Coordination Center, right from the time the notification is done to the Kenya Air Force until the time a rescue has been undertaken.
Yes, thank you. The Rescue Coordination Center, as part of KCAA, has developed a standard operating procedure for the conduct of search and rescue. And this standard operating procedure has been disseminated to the various agencies and organizations within the various clusters. So this standard operating procedure, the SOP, has really helped the various organizations to understand how search and rescue is supposed to be conducted. Initially, as operators, when you go for a search and rescue mission, there was a lot of confusion because there's normally a lot of interest in a search and rescue operation or mission involving an aircraft. So you find so many state and non-state actors who want to participate in the exercise. So the SOP has provided for how the search is supposed to be organized, who is supposed to lead the search mission, and how the various communications are supposed to be done. So that makes the exercise seamless. When RCC, that is the Rescue Coordination Center, receives or suspects a certain aircraft is in distress, because sometimes there are some false triggers of the emergency locator transmitter. So when the RCC determines that there's an aircraft in distress, they will allocate a certain organization the role to contact the search mission. In this case, if the KDF is given the task to undertake, first of all, a call will come in to the Kenya Air Force Operations Center if is a search that requires an aircraft. Then the Air Force, depending on availability, because KDF also has other primary roles, will allocate a suitable aircraft, be it a fixed-wing aircraft, a helicopter, or even unmanned aircraft to undertake the mission, dependent on the location of the occurrence. So, one, as operators, we always have aircraft on standby for search and rescue and other roles as a standard operating procedure for the KDF. So the standby crew will be given the task. They will appropriately equip the aircraft for the mission, because different missions require different ways of fitting the aircraft. So they'll make sure, for example, that they have, if you are going to rescue people, of course you need to carry the stretchers. You need to have the medical personnel. KDF has its own medical department, so you make sure that you have the medical personnel on board. The security personnel, because you want, once you land there, to secure the area. So you'll have to go with the security personnel. Then, of importance is to make sure that you don't waste too much time. Once you are well equipped for the mission, you take off for the mission. Also, the Rescue Coordination Center has a designated frequency for search and rescue missions. So our pilots will always be in touch with the Rescue Coordination Center. There is also a mobile number that anyone can call to the Rescue Coordination Center to make sure that a rescue is well coordinated. That is once on ground, and that is for the air operators. And that has proved to work very well. So someone would ask, how efficient are our primary agencies, or how prepared are they to undertake a search and rescue mission. And as we know, air crash worldwide attract a lot of interest from media and from the general populace. So, as I said, the KDF has operation centers which are manned 24 hours on a 365 days basis. So whenever a call is placed for a requirement for KDF to undertake aeronautical search and rescue, the KDF will be ready to undertake that mission. Yes.
True, and I think that gives a lot of confidence as to anybody who is, any passenger who is flying, that our system as a country, the state system is very well at the ready to undertake any kind of rescue activity in the event, and it is in the unlikely event, because these events are very rare. But when it happens, that every help and every assistance will be provided. Again, the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, to ensure that the Rescue Coordination Center is always at the ready, and also to make sure that all operators, we have a lot of information, registers all beacons, emergency beacons. They are registered with the authority so that a database of emergency beacons is at the ready. What that means is that if an aircraft that has been equipped with an ELT will register that emergency locator transmitter beacon with the authority, which is done at the Rescue Coordination Center, into the database, which is a national, and then also international. Once the registration happens and the satellites detect a signal from that beacon that has been activated, then the satellites will pick that beacon with the information that is relayed through the MCC. Therefore, if it's aircraft XYZ that has its emergency locator transmitter active, then it has been picked by the satellites, and the satellite has relayed that information to a mission control center, and the mission control center to a rescue coordination center. Then we will already be knowing this aircraft XYZ has an incident, and it will also give a location, and this is the location of the incident. Therefore, this helps because with that data that we registered, we know exactly who do we call in the event that this has happened. We have the contact of the person. It's called the 24 hours primary contact, and even a secondary contact, so that we would call that person at any one time, who would probably be knowing exactly where did the aircraft go to, what is happening to that aircraft. Once these beacons have been registered, you are able to get a response within the shortest time possible, and a lot of other information about the operation of an aircraft from the correct person and the right person. And they are also able to notify. They are able to know our aircraft has an emergency, distress alert. Therefore, it really helps, that registration of beacons. And it is working very well. And the world has moved from the analog kind of systems whereby we were only relying on to just knowing you are missing this aircraft, a lot of time would be taken, to this almost instantaneous notification when an incident has happened. From a beacon becoming activated when something has happened to this information getting to the Rescue Coordination Center, it is a very short time. And it has probably gone through a very wide system all over the world, because the mission control centers are not in every country. In Kenya, we are served by a mission control center located in Europe. This happens within 1 or 2 minutes. The whole process 1 or 2 minutes, you have the information and you are already acting on it. The other thing is, for the RCC, the Rescue Coordination Center, it's Nairobi Rescue Coordination Center located at Jomo Kenyatta. For it to be very effective, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority has installed state-of-the-art softwares so that once an incident has happened, you have a software that would manage the incident for you. And also a lot of other technologies that helps the search mission coordinators to monitor on a 24-hour basis any distress alert that would be coming up. These include probably even the media items. You can monitor social media, you can monitor the mainstream media news, you can monitor several lines that or hotlines that would come from various places, and we also have lines that are installed to coordinate, and capability also to coordinate even from remote locations, because not always an incident, and depending on the magnitude, the person coordinating at the Rescue Coordination Center may need assistance of other trained search mission coordinators. Then that person, if he makes that request, even as they make their way to the people who have been requested to assist, as they make their way to the Rescue Coordination Center, they have the gadgets that they can already be making some help. Remember, this is a service that requires minimum time, the shortest time possible, so that the impact is achieved. Aeronautical Search and Rescue is established both at the international level and at the national level, and with agencies at the local levels. At the international level, we have the International Civil Aviation Organization, or ICAO. ICAO has several contracting states. Each contracting state, like Kenya, has signed an agreement to establish and to provide search and rescue services within their boundaries. At the national level, a country or a state provides that service within the boundaries of what it has defined as the search and rescue region. Within the search and rescue region, for Kenya, the state is responsible for that. At the Aeronautical Search and Rescue, the state has delegated this function to the ministry responsible for aviation to coordinate that, which has in turn delegated the coordination aspect to Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. Kenya Civil Aviation Authority does this coordination through the Director General, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, and the Director General also, through the ministry, also manages or is the chair of the National Search and Rescue Committee, which is a body established by the ministry, and it involves all the stakeholders. This committee is responsible for setting the policy framework for search and rescue. Again, the state has established regulations, a legal framework for which this service will be provided. And the legal framework is under the Aeronautical Search and Rescue regulations. From the organization point, Kenya Civil Aviation does the coordination of search and rescue through the Rescue Coordination Center, and the Rescue Coordination Center undertakes this function by coordinating several agencies. So the service requires a lot of cooperation, coordination, and collaboration. Therefore, it is a wholesome service involving everyone, right from the operators, who are the owners of aircraft, state agencies that have the assets from the state, non-state agencies that are properly, they have the right assets, volunteer organizations, and the whole service works well. We also have at the national level, an incident may happen even beyond or at the common borders. So there is a lot of cooperation and coordination between various RCCs in different countries, especially all the neighboring countries. And this, for the cooperation and coordination to work well, the states, neighboring states, have signed an MOU with Kenya through the civil aviation authorities on how search and rescue activities will be undertaken between, especially if there is assistance, or when an incident happens in areas proximate to their borders. Therefore, the organization of search and rescue is as that. For this to work perfectly, the Search and Rescue, National Search and Rescue Committee, which was established by the Minister of Transport, coordinates the various agencies and organizations that are responsible or that are involved in search and rescue in setting out their policy.